Springfield Echelon. When we did the full-size video, everybody said it was compact. When I did the comped video, everybody said compact. So I almost literally went out and bought a chop saw, and since I have two of these, I was gonna cut an inch off the front and an inch off the grip. Now you all are happy. This is what released on December 3rd, the new 4.0 Echelon Compact. All right, y'all, so as you guys know, we got the fancy Echelon media drop box, whatever, so this was what they sent everybody. Shout out to Springfield, they always crush packaging. I'm a packaging nerd, I love packaging, so again, whatever something comes in a cool box like this, I'm stoked to get it. Springfield's been great to the channel, don't let that influence you on the review, and because again, I have no reason to BS you guys at home. If I wanted one of these pistols, I'd just go buy one, right? The channel does well enough, the store does well enough that we could cover that. The 4.0 Echelon. This will be a little different review than we normally have done in the past because you've already seen the full size, you've already seen the comp. So I wanted to kind of bring this to you guys as a consumer review because in my comments on social media, I said this could be the gun in 2024 that forces Glock to change the iconic design. This pistol is feature packed, super good looking, and a lot of very well thought out aesthetic features of the pistol. And I think this is going to shake up a lot of the industry because this gun shoots amazingly well. And you'll see that in the B-roll today. So with the Echelon, there's gonna be a little bit of a gap in accessories, right? We don't currently have EDC products for this one, but we do have other options for the full-size gun. If you need a certified holster mod for the full-size Echelon, that's something we have on the website. We have holster mods, holster wraps, holster accessories, belts, chest rigs, plate carriers, a full nav canine gear. And don't forget your best friend this holiday season because every dog needs some badass dog gear. Even Crispy's gonna get something for Ava this year, so he laughs, but he will. But you guys, you can check all that out on the website at rdrgear.com. And so let's talk about the Echelon 4.0. As you guys know, I'm gonna link both reviews we've done in the past on this pistol because it's all the same. When you look at the guns side by side, it is just a smaller version of the full-size gun. These both shoot very, very well. Today's B-roll, I've been shooting the Echelon for about 2.5 weeks since I got the pistol. This thing is awesome. I've been shooting mostly indoor range, and this Vortex Defender pairing is phenomenal pairing. When you look at this target here, we shot 50 something rounds, give or take. The gun just tracks very well and it shoots very, very easily. I'm very impressed with the trigger, shootability, point of aim, all that stuff. So, and this is just something simple. These were 10 yards, nothing fancy, just some pairs, some build drills we threw in there and just overall B-roll stuff. So why would you buy an Echelon? Number one, I think when you look at the Echelon itself as a whole, it is a good looking gun. It is something that when the first one came out, I thought it was sharp. And it's weird when you think about accessories, right? I remember when I was a kid, we'd go back to Japan to see my grandparents. And in Japan, they always had those badass little Sony Walkmans, stuff I would never get here in the US, but you could always get these super dope small Sony products. I remember one year going back to Japan and I got a Walkman that was only as big as an actual cassette tape. And it was the coolest thing I ever had. All my friends were jealous, whatever. So again, when you shrink something down, I think sometimes it just looks cooler. And that's what I feel with the Echelon. When you look at the overall footprint of this pistol, it is a Glock 19 size footprint. Same comparison you can see here is an M&P 2.0. Very similar designs, very similar shapes. This was my former carry gun. Now I'm running a PDP. But in size-wise, this thing is right there in that mid-size. Two things I really enjoy in this gun. Well, I'm going to talk about three real quick. Number one is positional slide stop. That one is huge. Second is design and location mag release. And 3 is how well the gun has this stippling layout. When you look at slide stop, this thing is perfect either way, left or right-handed. It doesn't matter. It's pushed far enough back that, and it's not very large either. So no matter what, its position and that little bit of nub is gonna let you get there every time. Super impressive. Mag release, I can drop a magazine, no issue whatsoever, and not have to change my grip by any way to get to that mag release. And I don't have huge hands, but I think that would be the same result for anybody who might pick this pistol up. Number 3 is a trigger. Trigger is solid. I was impressed with the Echelon trigger on the full size gun. The short trigger, or the short one, just as good. The cog system in there is super exciting because now what has this holster or this pistol is evolving to a modular system. I want to say companies like Springer Precision, who have done stuff in the past for Springfield products like the XDs and XDMs, I would hope to see those guys trying to tinker with some upgrades and things to the cog system that's in the Echelon pistol, because now we're going to see, I'm sure, Icarus is going to come out with an aluminum grip module. I'm sure there's going to be a steel one coming soon for the full size guns. I could see the future of this pistol being very bright, especially with SHOT Show 30 days away, 4 or 5 weeks away. There could be a lot of things at SHOT Show based around the Echelon pistol. So why would you buy this over the Glock? As I mentioned earlier, aesthetics. That's my biggest thing. Aesthetics, trigger, and the biggest one of all, of everything I've talked about, the mounting system. This, for the first time person, maybe someone who's gonna get a new concealed carry gun or their first concealed carry gun, the Echelon checks a lot of boxes in regards to, number 1, its aesthetics, how it looks, right? It's a good looking pistol. The Defender ST on this pistol is a great pairing. The ability to swap into multiple different red dots without using a plate system is really what separates the Echelon apart, in my opinion, from any other pistol in its category. Because when you look at a Glock, M&P, SIG, whatever, most of those guns are going to give you 1 or 2, maybe 3 red dot options. And when you get outside of that, you're going to have to get a conversion plate. Not the case with the Echelon. So that new consumer can try the Defender ST, they can try the RMR, they can try the SRO. All those options are available. All the Holliston options are available. Some of the other cheaper options are available. The only thing right now that still requires a plate on the Echelon is, say, an Acro or an MPS. But again, those are all options that that consumer can get without having to buy a plate, to not having to get screws and all those things. So again, that right there in itself, I feel, is going to entice a lot of new shooters and a lot of new consumers to this pistol. The slide serrations on this gun are super aggressive, very well placed. The index points, as I mentioned earlier, are perfect. And I love the fact that the stippling on this gun over, say, like when you look at M&P, for example, you'll see how the M&P stops down here, right? This has a hard line where it stops, where Springfield has kind of came up at an angle through some in this section here and the index points. Because what that does now is it gives that support hand placement for the slide stop and index point on the index finger on this side, and the same thing for right and left-handed shooters. Where Smith & Wesson, when you look at that, you kind of got super slippery everywhere. So again, placement of that stippling was phenomenal. And the fact now, if you wanted to, you could get your own stipple kit and just go back over all those areas and add your own texture, blend that backstrap in, etc. So very well done there. Iron sights are the perfect co-witness. You guys, and I'll be honest, when I first started running these kinds of guns, and you heard me mention it in the other videos, the U-notch sight, I used to think that wasn't for me. Nowadays, I love it. It doesn't affect me whatsoever. I've grown to really like how bright this front yellow sight is, and this U-notch in the rear doesn't hinder me one way or the other. The ability to co-witness this iron sight with the Defender XL, or excuse me, Defender ST, is with this little notch back here, is perfect. So again, I don't have to get suppressor height sights, etc. My only gripe, if I had anything, is I would like to have seen Springfield use a non-ramped or non-Novak style rear sight and just do a standard square blocky Glock dovetail, because that would allow us to push the red dot further back, and they'll allow us other options for longer RDS sights and get into maybe a little more of a duty holster market. This right now is going to be a tight fitment with anything like the Vortex. RMR is probably going to be okay. RCR is going to be okay. Hollow Sun 509s are going to be fine because they're shorter and they're pushed back a little bit, which will allow lockup. I'll have some testing done on holsters here very soon, but that's what we found on the full-size guns with the red dot being pushed so far forward. And the same thing with the Echelon here as well on the compact. The dot's just a bit forward, so when the ALS goes to lock up, the front sight impedes the ALS module. So, you know, a lot of the consumers who look at this gun and a lot of YouTubers who have reviewed this pistol were extremely impressed with how well this pistol performed. The trigger is nothing you guys should be concerned about. It is very good, very crisp. When you hit that wall, you get a little bit extra take up, shot breaks, back on the reset, right to the wall again. Shoots phenomenal. There's not a Glock trigger that I've tried that without getting some really crazy tuning done or a very difficult installation for someone who's new to get a trigger into a gun to perform as cleanly, as easily as that trigger does. When the Echelon was shipped, it's a pairing between Vortex, Springfield, and Haley Strategic and Safariland. So the Incog did come with the pistol. I'm probably old enough to remember when these first came out. The Incog holsters were kind of the first two-piece appendix carry predating the sidecar. Then Lucas came out with his design of making the Incog into one bended piece, and everybody's kind of taken their own flavor off of Lucas's early design in regards to the sidecar. This is not a bad holster. I do feel there are better options on the market than this particular one. Well constructed, well designed, but when you look at today's market, I think if this holster would have came out with like a wedge in the rear, it would have been a little more comfortable because it is short in the holster body, but it does work well, and this one did come with it. So I know some of you guys do like Haley's product line, and the Incog is his baby, and of course with the sidecar. But what's nice about this is you can take this magazine caddy off, run the holster. But again, I'm assuming that there's going to be a lot of companies bringing product lines for the Echelon holster system. And if you already own the full-size pistol, you know what you're going to make with the compact frame, right? So now what we have is the shorter frame, a longer sight radius, which everybody wanted with the Glock products, and it looks super dope in this configuration as well. So again, you have the ability to make this gun modular to fit your needs. If you have a full-size Echelon holster and you already own a full-size Echelon gun, you got this in the bag for accessories. So you guys, the Echelon 4.0 compact, I know when I say Glock Killer, it's just gonna bring out all the trolls in the comment section. But this is never gonna kill Glock, let's be honest. Glock will always be the contract gun in the world for law enforcement, military, domestic, international. But what this does for the consumer, it no longer allows them to, or forces them to accept the status quo of a gun that now you have to beta test all your different accessories, pay for a stipple job, pay for this trigger, pay for an optics mounting plate, etc. You get the modularity to build it as you wish. And as we go forward in 2025, there will be a ton of accessories around the Echelon. I think this gun's going to do very, very well in the upcoming year. And this launching right before SHOT Show is the perfect timing for Springfield. That's all I got for you guys today on the Springfield Echelon 4.0 Compact. Big shout out to Springfield for supporting the channel as always. Don't let that support, you guys, sway my review. It does not, because I've I'm just gonna call it how I see it, but I really do like this pistol, and my favorite configuration so far, it has been the long slide with the short frame. I have not put the comp slide on here yet, but I plan to, and I also plan to send this slide to Monsoon Tactical and possibly talk to Vinny about doing some Lucky 7 style porting on this slide, and then there'll be a follow-up review on that as well. I am going to look at getting an Icarus frame, so you'll see more Echelon content with some upgrades, and that will help you guys make the decision whether or not you make those same investments. Until next time, be well. Talk to you soon. Take care.